CNN Primetime begins right now.
Tonight, a bitter custody battle that's turning into a religious dispute between divorcing parents. A Chicago man could be going to jail after violating a court order to stop taking his daughter to church. His ex-wife wants their daughter to be raised in the Jewish faith, but he went ahead and baptized the girl without the mother's consent. The father, Joseph Reyes, explained what happened next on ABC's Good Morning America.
I sent her pictures and I sent her an email.
How did Rebecca react when you told her that you had baptized your child?
She responded in kind with a motion for a temporary restraining order.
But instead of waiting the 30 days ordered by the court, Joseph called a local TV station to watch him take his daughter to church again.
I'm taking her to hear the teachings of perhaps the most prominent Jewish rabbi in the history of this great planet of ours. Going to church, I don't think, violated the order.
Why not?
Based on the information that I was given, Catholicism falls right under the umbrella of Judaism.
Do you think you're making it better by what you did, flouting the order and calling in the media?
I don't think that helped to basically end the conflict. I've made every concession that I possibly can make for Rebecca, and I have to draw the line in the sand somewhere. And this is where I choose to draw it. My faith means a lot to me.
And joining me now, CNN legal analyst Lisa Bloom and Stephen Lake. He represents the girl's mother here, Rebecca Shapiro. We should mention, too, that we invited the attorney for Mr. Reyes on as well, but he was not able to join us tonight. Steve, I know Mr. Reyes says he just wants to expose his child to his religion, but actually getting his daughter baptized takes us to a whole other level, doesn't it? How did your client, I guess, react when she found out?
Well, absolutely. I mean, she was completely shocked. I think had he just taken her to church and said, you know what, I took our daughter to church just to expose her, or just let her sit in, I don't think any of us would have had the reaction that we did when he just surreptitiously and without any warning or discussion had the church baptize her, which basically, my understanding is the church declaring this little girl to be Catholic.
Mr. Reyes, though, says that he and his wife never made any official decision to raise their daughter in the Jewish faith. He says they actually celebrated Christian and Jewish holidays together. Was that the case?
No, not to my knowledge. I mean, he actually converted to Judaism. They never went to church together. They certainly went to synagogue. The little girl was going to a Jewish preschool, which he had full knowledge of, and there's no way in the world that he did this not knowing that my client would be extremely upset.
Lisa, how unusual is it for the courts to essentially decide, I guess, which faith a child is raised in, which I guess is what ultimately may have to happen here? I mean, putting the baptism and the restraining order aside and looking at the bigger issue.
We live in a country now where there are many interfaith marriages, and after divorces, sometimes people change religions. This issue comes up frequently. What the courts try to do is get the parties to agree. If they can't agree, the primary caretaker of the child, the person who has sole custody, gets to make the decisions about religion. Now, what about the non-custodial parent? Here, the father. Doesn't he have a First Amendment right to practice his religion? Doesn't he have the right to bring that child to church, even if the mother doesn't like it? The courts generally try to avoid that issue, try to avoid reaching that issue, but I think there is a First Amendment issue there. The way that Mr. Reyes has handled himself was not smart. You never want to violate a court order.
I was going to say that,
you don't want to bring the cameras along when you're taking a 3-year-old to church.
Because this, I mean, and I want to get to the heart of that, because it seems to me that that's what this is about. I mean, we can have a broader discussion about, how parents to decide, divorcing parents, what religion to raise their child in, but he violated a restraining order, and he then called in TV cameras to go with him while he was violating it. I mean, not exactly the brainiest legal strategy in the world.
That's right. And the judge is not going to like that, because that looks harmful to the child, and that's the legal standard. He also gets a little bit cute in his interview where he says, I'm not violating the order because Catholicism is part of Judaism.
I know. Give me a break.
No one's going to believe that.
And I think, I guess, Steve, if I can go back to you on this, because nobody wants a war like this in any way when there's a 3-year-old involved. Is there any hope or any middle ground here, a way for these parents to resolve this?
I think there would have been had Joseph not handled himself the way he has. I mean, he's just just done all this as you say in a inappropriate way, no discussion, and you just have to question his judgment on a lot of things. And you know, had there been an opening to try to resolve this, he certainly blew it by his behavior.
All right, Lisa Bloom and Stephen Lake, we're going to end it there. Appreciate your time tonight. Thanks, guys. Larry King Live starting in just a few minutes.